AskReddit by AMGBOI 69420. Americans of Reddit. What places in America should foreigners avoid at all cost? If you go to a national park and you disregard the signs, you're going to die. It's not a joke. Treat buffalo like field puppies? You're going to die. Try to pet the brown bear? You're going to die. See that moose and want to feed it? You're probably already dead. Oh look, a rattlesnake dead. Want to swim in Old Faithful? You're going to die painfully and completely dissolve into a soup. Shit is dangerous here, and if you don't respect it, you'll be lucky to die quick. Yet somehow Australia has the reputation for wildlife that'll kill you. Don't hike into the wilderness of Colorado, especially 14 airs, without knowing wilderness survival and responsibilities. Tourists die on our mountains and in Rocky Mountain National Park all the time. Do your research. Altitude is no joke. Also, don't think you can slam shots like you do at home. Take it slow until you figure out your new altitude buzz level. Hey, it saves $ on drinks, too. Not American, but as a visitor trying to travel on the cheap, I made the mistake of booking a Greyhound bus ride. There's a reason why it was cheap, lol. Yeah, I had a guy next to me overdose on a Greyhound once. When I realized, I was trying to help him and another passenger rolled their eyes and just said he's on drugs like it was just another Tuesday. Bus driver didn't even really want to stop until I pointed out the guy was unconscious and vomiting weird biohazard fluid that was flowing up the bus aisle all the way to the front. Cheap ticket though. Guy got resuscitated, don't worry. Death Valley in the summer, especially if you consider yourself a strong hiker and live in a cooler climate. It has that name for a reason. My uncle died hiking in Death Valley 2 summers ago. I think it was 118th. He was an exceptionally experienced hiker, but he was in his 60s. Heat exhaustion. Don't try it. The hot springs in Yellowstone are not hot tubs. Do not swim in them. And the buffalo are not to be petted. Do not feed the bears unless you want to be the food. Anywhere with a rainforest cafe and a wax museum on the same street is a tourist trap. Edit. I love how many people keep guessing what city I am talking about and no guess has been the same. Nashville has a mall with Madame Tussauds, rainforest cafe, and aquarium restaurant. Avoid going to one location thinking another location across the country is a short trip. I used to work at a hotel, and tourists would tell me all the time about their 1-week vacation plans that involved a road trip from Neck to Yellowstone, the Grand Canyon, and LA. If you're in a national park, listen to what the caution signs say and don't venture off of paths. One is because of wildlife and the other is because humans don't need to ruin everything in nature just to get a photo. Also, don't fall into the Grand Canyon. You will die. Just posted this somewhere else today, but while at Yellowstone, I watched a foreign tourist get super close to an elk for a selfie. I wanted to call out and warn her, but I also didn't want to spook the elk by doing that, so my friend and I just watched anxiously while she did her stupid peace sign selfie right next to this massive wild animal. Nothing happened, thankfully, but do people just not understand that wildlife is wild? Most of downtown Los Angeles at night, when the streets get quiet and the locals go home, that's your cue to go back to your hotel or a more popular hotspot. Edit. I should have said populated. I've never seen the center of such a major city empty out so bloody fast and look like The Walking Dead in the matter of a few hours. Steaming acidic hot springs in Yellowstone. And all the wildlife. Don't pet the bison. The Kensington area of North Philadelphia. Don't. Just don't. Moved just outside of NW Philadelphia a couple months ago. Every single person that finds out I just moved says stay out of Kensington. I looked it up. I will in fact stay out of Kensington. Pueblo, Colorado. I appreciate how high this comment is. Fuck Pueblo and its mass tarantula migration. As a native Californian, I definitely say the Hollywood Walk of Fame. That place is so dirty and grimy, and all the people and street performers there are sketchy and aggressive. Definitely not worth it if you ask me. Right now. Vermont. What's happening in Vermont? We should really have a thread asking Americans where non-Americans should visit. Americans generally travel within the US, so we know the best places to go. National parks. Anywhere south in the summertime. It's too fucking hot. Too fucking humid. Look, I can deal with 95 plus. It's the swamp ass and thick heat that gets me. Deleted. Germans always come to Australia and try do the same. They want to hike in the desert in summer, which is just dumb. The heat saps everything out of you. Gary, Indiana. Makes East St. Louis look like a resort. And just to be clear, don't go to East St. Louis, either. It should be noted that East St. Louis is a separate and distinct city and not just the east part of St. Louis. Avoid large chain restaurants. The best food in America comes from small owner-operated businesses. I will never understand tourists coming to the US and basing their entire experience off a Bud Light and a Big Mac, then stopping at an airport Chili's. In Alaska, please don't go close to the wildlife, the bears will kill you along with the moose. Just no period. I've seen so many tourists get attacked by bears and moose, it ain't pretty. Area 51 seems the obvious answer. You can just Naruto run past their defenses. Gary, Indiana. Americans should avoid it as well. Don't believe the lies from the Music Man. No matter how cute Lil Ronnie Howard was back then. Trenton, NJ. It's the state capital. There is a good museum. But it looks like a bombed out looted shithole, and I won't even stop at red lights while in Trenton. A follow-up answer would be Camden too. The locals can smell fear. Pine Hills, Florida. It's in the Orlando area. Just stick to the tourist areas. I used to live there and it's a shit show. Grew up in Orlando. Plus Paramore. Plus South Orange Blossom Trail. Places you'll never see on a happiest place on earth advertising campaign. Northern WI. Because that's where I live and I don't like people. Likewise. Even though tourists are how we survive the winter. We eat M. Circle K's at 2 AM. You're pretty likely to find strange things afoot around then. San Bernardino, California at night with no money, walking and waving, screaming obscenities at police officers. You colder just stopped at San Bernardino. The trough urinals at Wrigley Field. Man, I'm a Chicagoan and always defend my city to the death, but I laughed hard at this. Arizona is very hot in the summertime, otherwise a nice place to visit. Bring your own water please. Deleted. Arizona's a big state. Southern AZ in summer is hell's waiting room. When you get north in the mountains the summer is nice. Also, people tell me there's cool stuff in Phoenix, but I'm pretty sure it's the actual hell mouth. Deleted. Take nothing but pictures and leave nothing but footprints. East Street Louis. One of the highest, if not the highest, murders per capita in the country. There's also just nothing to do there except gawk at the half-bombed out Main Street. Avoid the place in your head that says you can visit Miami and LA in the same week. You can, if you fly, but you'll spend 15 hours in the air and get to see very little with at most 48 hours to see the city. Any tourist place will be a money trap. crowded and underwhelming. Unfortunately, lots of cool stuff in the US just gets turned into a business with bizarre gift shops with unrelated gifts. Yes. There's an immersive Van Gogh exhibit near me. At the end, for an extra $10, you can do the whole tour again, virtually. What sort of gift shop items might you expect for an art exhibit? Who cares? Here's some headphones, phone accessories, kitchenware and car accessories. Take your pick. Don't go on hikes in the Southwest unless you know what you're going into. The desert there can be pretty hot, so you'll need to bring plenty of water and sunscreen up. Not American, but if you ever find yourself in East Texas and think I'm going to drive to New Orleans, don't do it. Rural Louisiana is like the fucking upside down. There used to be a gas station along that route that had a tiger in the flimsiest cage I have ever seen. Skid Row, LA.